looking at depression and about how that's linked to our suffering. Now, while we're looking at subject depression, it's also important to realize a lot of depression is caused by physical issues. So please go to your medical doctor, your GP, and get their advice and follow it. This is vital. This is essential for moving forward. So while acknowledging your suffering, there are some things you can start doing which will help you begin to pick up life again. Now, I expect if you're suffering with depression, what you want to do is to lie in bed all day. But the thing is, even though we want to do that, it isn't helpful. It makes things worse in the long term. So my suggestion would be to pick a time to get out of bed every day for a week, say 9 a.m., and then force yourself to get out of bed at 9 a.m. Now, probably the way human nature is, in your thinking, you'll be saying all sorts of reasons to yourself why it's perfectly fine to stay in bed. But please don't ignore that. Go against that and get up at 9 a.m. The following week, as well as doing that, make your bed every day. And the following week, as well as getting up and making your bed, get dressed. This is just a start of how to then start moving forward. Now, this might not be the first couple of weeks, but then in time, think about a friend that maybe you can go for a walk with, say 10, 15 minutes a day, if it's safe for you to do that. Because physical exercise is really good for us because it releases endorphins that are good for us. As well as the physical body, you've got what we're thinking, what's going on in our minds, and these influence our whole being as well. So it's important to become aware of your thinking. And I know this is quite unusual for some people to be doing this, to learn to do this, but it's really, really helpful. So become aware of what you're thinking and then write it down. And then think, well, was that helpful what I was thinking? Was that true? Is that what God says? And what does God say? And then perhaps again, with the help of a friend, write down things that are true, that are helpful, and that God does say. And be reading them. Put them on cards in your phone. Stick them on places where you're inclined to think negatively and fill your mind with them. Read them consistently, especially when you're inclined to these negative thoughts. And that it's also important to become aware of when you're inclined to think this way. A lot of people, that's after looking at social media because they're comparing themselves to others. Or maybe they have to see someone or are thinking about someone, or when they're doing something that doesn't involve concentrated thought. So become aware of when you tend to have these thoughts and fill your mind with God's truth by reading it, by having it up in front of you, putting your mind back in God's truth again and saying it out loud throughout the day. If you're finding this helpful and you would like more information, I'll leave a link in the description which can lead you to further resources for helping with depression.